All right. good morning, or good afternoon, depending on which part of the country you're joining us from. Coach Kevin Sparks here, and let's go ahead. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'd like to do is share my screen with you. And for those of you who are here with us for the very first time, or maybe you're watching this as a recording in the future at some point, just want to point out something relevant for you and helpful to you. We have a Facebook group that coincides with this meetup group. Again, we have a Facebook group that coincides with the meetup group, and it has the same name. I want to be really rich, and I do not apologize for it. We invite you to come join us. The way to find us is to go into your own Facebook account, go into search Facebook function, and then type in, I want to be really rich, and I do not apologize for it. The other way to find us is you can go directly to facebook.com /groups / I want to be really rich as one word. Now, why might you want to join us? A few different reasons. Reason number one, if we have any special announcements that pertain to the group, typically I'll have it pinned to the top for you. The other reason would be is if we have any particular material that we're studying and we're coming out with something new, like for today, we're going to be going over this. It will be actually posted into the group. The other reason would be is as long as I remember to hit play, which I typically do, I will put the recordings of our Zoom meetings into the group so that if you attend a meeting that you like a lot, you can go review that meeting. Or let's say, for instance, you're with us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can't make it, you're with us Thursday, Friday. Well, you can always go back and find Wednesday's meeting and go through it if you like to. Sometimes we're studying material that we go over, maybe a book or something. It might take us several days or even a week. So let's say you catch 3 or 4 of those days, you might want to catch the 1 or 2 others that you missed to get caught up. That's a good way to do it. So today, what we're going to be doing, though, we're going to go over something we actually went over on Thanksgiving. So we started this group on November 5th of last year, and we've been going now for almost a couple months, right? November, so we got December, we're almost to January. Well, we're past January 5th. So we're over 2 months going together. We just finished up yesterday, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind with Joseph Murphy. And as I was thinking and reflecting on what we should do today, it came to me that what we shared on Thanksgiving, a lot of you guys didn't make it, but also it was very, very, very important to help you manifest more money and wealth in your life. So we're revisiting that one today, and it will be today only. So it's one of those things that you can do. So go right into Facebook. If you want to get a copy of this for yourself, it's called Decision by Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor is actually a mentor and trainer of myself. I hired him to coach me. I actually became a coach for his programs once upon a time. Now I'm independent. This is one of the things that he shared with me, though, and it's become a very important part of my life and should be a very important part of your life, too. So Decision by Bob Proctor. So when you go into the Facebook group, I went ahead and made a comment and put that that's what we're studying today, 1/20/2021. That way this will pop up near the top of the search when you join the Facebook group. And what you will see when you do is this. It's 6 pages long, so I'm going to hop right in and get started sharing it with you. Obviously, you probably don't have your own copy right now. If you've already joined the Facebook group, awesome. You can go get one right now. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, ask us to, and we'll accept your membership into it, and then I'll be able to get it for you. Okay, or you'll be able to get it for yourself, I should say, once you join us. But for now, you can follow along because I have this on screen share. So as I'm going through this, you will be able to see everything that I'm reading right here. And I'll add some commentary when I think it's appropriate. Now, the other thing besides reading this that we're going to do is there'll probably be a little bit of time towards the end. That'll be your opportunity to share and or ask questions like we do every day. We usually have 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll stick around a little bit longer, even though I said the meeting's 45 minutes. That's true. If you got to go when 45 minutes are up, you can. Oftentimes, members of the group want to continue on with either sharing or me asking me questions. And sometimes I've got the extra time to do that, so I will. And today I could probably spend a few extra minutes with you. So I'm going to jump in, start reading this, sharing it with you, follow along. And then when the time's appropriate, we'll come off a screen share and we'll go through the sharing and question answering portion of what we do each day. Okay, going to get a quick sip of water and then get started reading this. Excuse me. Decision by Bob Proctor. There's a single mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter, and it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this magic mental activity. It is called decision. Decisions, or the lack of them, are responsible for the breaking or making of many a career. Individuals who have become very proficient at making decisions without being influenced by the opinions of others, there's a key there, without being influenced by the opinions of others, are the same people whose annual incomes fall into the 6 and 7 figure category. However, it's not just your income that is affected by decisions. Your whole life is dominated by this power: the health of your mind and body, the well-being of your family, your social life, the type of relationships you develop. All are dependent upon your ability to make sound decisions. You would think anything as important as decision making, when it has such far-reaching power, would be taught in every school, but it is not. To compound the problem, not only is decision making missing from the curriculum of our educational institutions, up until recently, it's also been absent from most of the corporate training and human resource programs available. So how's a person expected to develop this mental ability? Quite simply, you must do it on your own. However, I think it's important to understand that it's not difficult to learn how to make wise decisions. Armed with the proper information and by subjecting yourself to certain disciplines, you can become a very effective decision maker. You can virtually eliminate conflict and confusion in your life by becoming proficient at making decisions. Decision making brings order to your mind, and of course, this order is then reflected in your objective world, your results. James Allen may have been thinking of decisions when he wrote, "We think in secret and it comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass. No one can see you making decisions, but they will almost always see the results of your decisions." The person who fails to develop their ability to make decisions is doomed, because indecision sets up internal conflicts which can, without warning, escalate into all-out mental and emotional wars. Psychiatrists have excuse me. Psychiatrists have a name to describe these internal wars. It's called ambivalence. My Oxford Dictionary tells me that ambivalence is the coexistence in one person of opposite feelings toward the same objective. You do not require a doctorate degree in psychiatry to understand that you're going to have difficulty in your life by permitting your mind to remain in an ambivalent state for any period of time. The person who does permit it to exist will become very despondent and virtually incapable of any type of productive activity. It is obvious that anyone who finds themselves in such a mental state is not living at best, they are merely existing. A decision or a series of decisions would change everything. A very basic law of the universe is create or disintegrate. Indecision causes disintegration. How often have you heard a person say, "I don't know what to do"? How often have you heard yourself say, "What should I do"? Think about some of the indecisive feelings you and virtually everyone on this planet experience from time to time. Love them, leave them. Out or quit, stay. Do it, don't do it. Go bankrupt, no, don't. Go to work, watch TV. Buy it, don't buy it. Say it, don't say it. Tell them, don't tell them. Everyone on occasion has experienced these feelings of ambivalence. If it happens to you frequently, decide right now to stop it. Let me repeat that. If it happens to you frequently, decide right now to stop it. The cause of ambivalence is indecision, but we must keep in mind that the truth is not always in the appearance of things. Indecision is a cause of ambivalence. However, it is a secondary cause. It is not the primary cause. I've been studying the behavior of people who have become very proficient at making decisions for over a quarter century. They all have one thing in common. They have a very strong self-image, a high degree of self-esteem. They may be as different as night is today in numerous other respects, but they certainly possess confidence. Low self-esteem or lack of confidence is the real culprit here. Decision makers are not afraid of making an error. If and when they make an error in their decision or fail at something, they have the ability to shrug it off. They learn from the experience, but they will never submit to the failure. Every decision maker was either fortunate enough to have been raised in an environment where decision making was part of their upbringing, or they developed the ability themselves at a later date. They are aware of something that everyone who hopes to live a full life must understand. Decision making is something you cannot avoid. That is the cardinal principle of decision making. Decide right where you are with whatever you've got. This is precisely why most people never master this important aspect of life. They permit their resources to dictate if and when a decision will or can be made. Let me repeat this. This is precisely why most people never master this important aspect of life. They permit their resources to dictate if and when a decision will or can be made. When John Kennedy asked Werner von Braun what it would take to build a rocket that would carry a man to the moon and return him safely to Earth, his answer was simple and direct: the will to do it. President Kennedy never asked if it was possible. He never asked if they could afford it, or any one of 1,000 other questions, all of which would have, at that time, been valid questions. President Kennedy made a decision. He said, "We will put a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the end of the decade." The fact that it had never been done before in all the hundreds of thousands of years of human history was not even a consideration. He decided where he was with what he had. The objective was accomplished in his mind the second he made the decision. Let me repeat that. The objective was accomplished in his mind the second he made the decision. It was only a matter of time, which is governed by natural law, before the goal was manifested in form for the whole world to see. I was, just hours ago, in an office with 3 people. We were discussing the purchase of shares in a company. I was selling, they were buying. After a reasonable amount of time, so here we go, after a reasonable amount of time, one of the partners asked me when I wanted a decision. I replied, "Right now." I said, "You already know what you want to do." There was some discussion about money. I pointed out that money had nothing to do with it. Once you make the decision, you will find the money every time. If that is the only benefit you receive from this particular message on decision making, burn it into your mind. It will change your life. I explained to 2 of these people that I never let money enter my mind when I'm deciding whether I will or will not do something. Okay, repeat this again. This is Bob Proctor. I explained to 2 of these people that I never let money enter my mind when I'm deciding whether I will or will not do something. Whether I can afford it or not is never a consideration. Whether I can afford it or not is never a consideration. Whether I want to or not is the only consideration. Whether I want to or not is the only consideration. You can afford anything there. You can afford anything. There is an infinite supply of money. All the money in the world is available to you when the decision is firmly made. If you need money, you will attract it. And of course, we've been talking a lot about how that works in days past. I am well aware that there are any number of people who will say that is absurd. You can't just decide to do something if you do not have the necessary resources. And that's fine if that is the way they choose to think. I see that as a very limited way of thinking. In truth, it probably is not thinking at all. It is very likely an opinion being expressed that was inherited from another older member of their family who did not think either. Thinking is very important. Decision makers are great thinkers. You ever give, do you ever give much consideration to your thoughts? How they affect the various aspects of your life? Although this should be one of our most serious considerations, for many people it is not. There is a very small select few who make any attempt to control or govern their thoughts. Anyone who has made a study of the great thinkers, the great decision makers, the achievers of history will know they very rarely agreed on anything when it came to the study of human life. However, there was one point on which they were in complete and unanimous agreement, and that was we become what we think about. What do you think about? You and I must realize that our thoughts ultimately control every decision we make. You are the sum total of your thoughts. By taking charge this very minute, you can guarantee yourself a good day. Refuse to let unhappy, negative people or circumstances affect you. The greatest stumbling block you will encounter when making important decisions in your life is circumstance. We let circumstance get us off the hook when we should be giving it everything we've got. More dreams are shattered and goals lost because of circumstance than any other single factor. How often have you caught yourself saying, I would like to do or have this, but I can't because? Whatever follows because is the circumstance. Circumstances may cause a detour in your life, but you should never permit them to stop you from making important decisions. Napoleon said, circumstances, I make them. The next time you hear someone say that they would like to vacation in Paris or purchase a particular automobile, but they can't because they have no money, explain they don't need the money until they make the decision to go to Paris or purchase the car. When the decision is made, they will figure out a way to get the amount needed. They always do. Many misguided individuals try something once or twice, and if they do not hit the bullseye, they feel they are a failure. Failing does not make anyone a failure, but quitting most certainly does, and quitting is a decision. By following that form of reasoning, you would have to say when you make a decision to quit, you make a decision to fail. Every day in America, you hear about a baseball player signing a contract which will pay him a few $1,000,000 a year. You should try to keep in mind that same player misses the ball more often than he hits it when he steps up to the plate. Everyone remembers Babe Ruth for the 714 home runs he hit, and they rarely mention that he struck out 1,330 times. Charles F. Kettering said, and I quote, when you're inventing, if you flunk 999 times and succeed once, you're in. This is true of just about any activity you can name, but the world would soon forget your failures in light of your achievements. Don't worry about failing. It will toughen you up and get you ready for your big win. Winning is a decision. Many years ago, Helen Keller was asked if she thought there was anything worse than being blind. She quickly replied that there was something much worse. She said the most pathetic person in the world is a person who has their sight but no vision. I agree with Helen Keller. At 91 years old, J.C. Penney was asked how his eyesight was. He replied that his sight was failing, but his vision had never been better. That is really great, isn't it? When a person has no vision of a better way of life, they automatically shut themselves in a prison. They limit themselves to a life without hope. This frequently happens when a person has seriously tried on a number of occasions to win, only to meet with failure time after time. Repeated failures can damage a person's self image and cause them to lose sight of their potential. They therefore make a decision to give up and resign themselves to their fate. Take the first step in predicting your own prosperous future. Build a mental picture of exactly how you would like to live. Man, oh man, oh man, I've been telling you guys this over and over and over, over and over and over about that, morning and night. Take the first step in predicting your own prosperous future. Build a mental picture of exactly how you would like to live. Make a firm decision to hold on to that vision, and positive ways to improve everything will begin to flow into your mind. Many people get a beautiful vision of how they would like to live, but because they cannot see how they're going to make it all happen, they let the vision go. If they knew how they were going to get it or do it, they would have a plan, not a vision. There is no inspiration in a plan, but there sure is in a vision. When you get the vision, freeze frame it with a decision. And don't worry about how you will do it or where the resources will come from. Let me repeat that. When you get the vision, freeze frame it with a decision, and don't worry about how you will do it or where the resources will come from. Charge your decision with enthusiasm. That is important. Refuse to worry about how it will happen. Advanced decision making. We make advanced bookings when we fly somewhere. That is quite common. We make advanced reservations to eliminate any confusion or problems when the time arrives for the journey. We do the same with renting a car for the same reason. Think of the problems you will eliminate by making many of the decisions you must make well in advance. I'll give you an excellent example. As I'm preparing this message, it is Ramadan, a time where all practicing Muslims fast. I was in an office yesterday in Kuala Lumpur and was asked if I would like a cup of tea or coffee. I implied that I would appreciate a cup of tea. The lady next to me was then asked if she would like a cup, and she replied, "No, I'm fasting." When she was asked, she did not have to decide whether she wanted anything or not. Whether she was thirsty or not was not a consideration. A decision had previously been made, and her advanced decision was well tempered with discipline. The exact same concept works with a person when they're on a diet to release weight. Their decisions are made in advance. If they are offered a big slice of chocolate cake, they don't have to say, "Gee, that looks good. I wonder if I should." The decision is made in advance. I made a decision a long time ago that I would not participate in discussions of why something cannot be done. The only compensation you will ever receive for participating in or giving energy to that type of discussion is something you do not want. I always find it amazing at the number of seemingly intelligent people who persist in dragging you into these negative brainstorming sessions. I like how he puts that, right? Negative brainstorming sessions. In one breath, these people tell you they seriously want to accomplish a particular objective. And in the next breath, they begin talking about why they can't. Think of how much more of life they would enjoy by making a decision that they will no longer participate in that type of negative energy. The humanistic psychologist, Dr. Abraham Maslow, who devoted his life to studying self-actualized people, stated very clearly that we should follow our inner guide and not be swayed by the opinion of others or outside circumstances. Maslow's research showed that the decision makers in life had a number of things in common. Most importantly, they did work they felt was worthwhile and important. They found work a pleasure, and there was little distinction between work and play. Dr. Maslow said, to be self-actualized, you must not only be doing work you consider to be important, you must do it well and enjoy it. Dr. Maslow recorded that these superior performers had values, those qualities in their personalities they considered to be worthwhile and important. Their values were not imposed by society, parents, or other people in their lives. They did make their own decisions. Like their work, they chose and developed their values themselves. Your life is important, and at its best, life is short. You have the potential to do anything you choose and do it well, but you must make decisions, and when the time for a decision arrives, you must make a decision whether you are the decision where you are with what you've got. Let me repeat that. But you must make a decision, and when the time for a decision arrives, you must make your decision where you are with what you've got. Let me leave you with the words of two great decision makers, William James and Thomas Edison. William James suggested that compared to what we ought to be, we are making use of only a small part of our physical and mental resources. Stating this concept broadly, the human individual thus lives far within his limits. He possesses powers of various sorts, which he habitually fails to use. Years later, Thomas Edison said, and I quote, "If we all did the things we are capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves." By making a simple decision, the greatest minds of the past are available to you. You can literally learn how to turn your wildest dreams into reality. Put this valuable information to use and recognize the greatness which exists within you. You have limitless resources of potential and ability waiting to be developed. Start today. There is never any time better than the present. Be all that you're capable of being. Now, if you joined us a little bit late today, let me just point out that when you come join our Facebook group, which is called I Want to Be Really Rich, and I do not apologize for it, just like our meetup. And by the way, go to your own Facebook profile, find your search Facebook function, and type in I want to be really rich and I do not apologize for it. I have posted in here, it should be towards the top. We went over this one other time on Thanksgiving. However, I went ahead and put a comment in it today. That way it would pop up towards the top again. And you can get a copy of Decision by Bob Proctor, which is what we just went through. So if you joined us a little bit later, join our Facebook group and you can get a copy of this for yourself. Okay. So there have been some people who have joined us since we got started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you guys here. I can't tell if there's anybody here for the very first time. Looks like we've all been here before, at least once or more times. So you guys know the drill. This is your opportunity. Oh, one thing I want to do really quick, actually, because there are some people here, maybe not for the first time, but there are some people here that haven't been here the last 2 days. I want to post in the chat where you guys can find it. Is we have a special announcement and a special opportunity for you guys, and some of you are definitely going to want to take advantage of it. So if it feels right to you, do so. There's a 14-minute video for you guys to watch. Some of you have been with us the last day or two. You've already had the opportunity to do that. But if you haven't, I recommend that before we close out this meeting, right before we do, you go ahead and click on this link to YouTube. It's actually 13 minutes and 59 seconds, but it's a very special opportunity that some of you have already chosen to take advantage of, which is awesome. And it'll be definitely good for others of you. So I recommend that you go watch that right after we get out of the meeting, or at least click on it so you know where to find it. Okay. So what we're going to do now is open up for sharing and for questions, and you guys pretty much know how this works. So it is now open for you to do that. Go ahead and come off mute if there's something you'd like to share or a question you'd like to ask.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, Kevin.
Good morning.
I just have a quick comment. I came a little bit late to the program today, but I just heard you. It seems like everything that you read today sounded so familiar, and I don't know why. Did you read this before, this
Uh,
particular chapter?
yep, I felt like I should. I read it on Thanksgiving.
Okay, because I was like, I feel like I've heard this before, and I'm like, is he rereading something, or is it me? Is something? Am I going crazy? So, thank you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you chose to go with this passage again for the second
Uh-huh.
time?
Because it's the thing that 99.9% of you guys have the most problems with.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes. It's one of those things where we hem and haw and go back and forth, and we come up with all the reasons why we can't do something we really want to do, because we look at our resources and we look at the outside, and instead of making our decisions based upon what we want, we
Hmm.
make our decisions based upon our circumstance, which is never the right way to do it.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Uh-huh. You're welcome. Anybody else? Any comments or questions? It could be around today's material or something we've studied in the past, and or related to manifesting more money and wealth in your life. So we're having trouble making the decision to talk today. Uh,
Yeah, I wanted to say something.
Hi, Betsy.
Hi, how are you?
Terrific.
My husband really hasn't had a job. I mean, he works from home and he
Okay.
hasn't had anything coming in. For the last 3 days, he has. And he's been wanting to get this car, this red car.
Okay.
And I'm kind of wondering, is it me that's doing that or is it him? I guess we just don't know. He was so excited that he got something and he's saying,
Uh-huh.
I just did not sure if I was going to get anything after this, because he's in the oil and gas business.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So
and
what is it him or you doing a red car? Is it him or you that got
well,
the job?
getting all of a sudden getting some jobs in and stuff. Well, you don't know. I don't know why I even asked you that.
No, it's fine. I just need a little more information so I can help you out.
No, I mean, every day I've been kind of saying, well, I would like him to have the red car. I told him if his business
Okay.
starts going, then I will allow him to have it.
Okay.
And in fact, we have this lake house and we're kind of going around, and his car that he wants is in the garage. And every time we go past, that's my car, so.
Yeah, so you got him excited enough that he finally attracted into his life some ways to make some money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and it was
yeah.
probably the red car more than wanting to work.
Yeah.
I don't know
No, he
without
loves
talking
his
to him,
work.
but yeah.
Well, no, he loves the work. He wants to do that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah. So anyway, I thought that was kind of exciting.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
that's awesome. That is how things work. You decide what you want first, and then the way to do it shows up.
yeah. Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Betsy.
Oh, thanks.
Uh-huh. Anybody else?
Hi, Kevin and Sunshine. How are you?
Hey, terrific. How are you?
Not bad, thanks.
Okay,
So,
hold on. Let's change that. How can we say that differently? Okay, there's a habit. I'm going to catch you guys occasionally, right? And I'm just doing this to help you out. I said, how are you doing? And you said, what?
not bad.
Oh,
Thing.
what would be a better way to say something?
Good.
Yeah, it can be simple, right? It doesn't have to be.
I'm okay. Can I say I'm okay?
You can, and that's about how life will go for you.
Oh, okay. I guess I just better say that I'm great then.
Yeah, I'm doing terrific. I'm feeling wonderful. Today's an awesome day. And I get it if you're feeling not like that, say it anyway.
Okay.
Good. Okay, go ahead, Sunshine.
I'm just gonna start saying that I'm blessed. I'll at least
There you
leave
go.
that way.
Awesome. Perfect.
Thank you for helping me reframe.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to share that I didn't get to do anything super fun, but I'm planning something.
Okay.
I'm planning on Thursday to do some bowling, but I did go to the website, the YouTube list that you gave me, the dry comedy. I think
Okay. Yeah.
either way,
Dry
I
bar
went there.
comedy. Dry bar.
Yeah, dry bar comedy.
Uh-huh.
And thank you for that, because even gave me warnings like what they were about. So there was one, and I want to manifest a future spouse. I won't say the word that I was going to say after,
Okay.
but
Okay.
and one of them said, marriage will ruin your life. And I was like, not watching that set, because this is not what I'm trying to manifest. Let me find something else. I didn't even click on it, and I was very mindful. So thank you for that. That did help me laugh a bit. And I did get the results back from my doctor this morning, and they were good. He said that there's no additional issues. So
Awesome.
just,
Okay. Awesome.
so I'm going to keep saying, I thank you for my healing, and
Uh-huh.
laugh. So that way the whatever is
Uh-huh.
going on will go away.
Yeah, and see the doctor the next time he's talking with you. However, whether it's on the phone or whatever, but visualize him next time saying, "Hey, this cleared up or that cleared up." You know what I mean? Whatever the prognosis is that you would like,
Yeah.
and have him be surprised, like
Okay. All
pleasantly.
right,
Oh
cool.
my gosh, sunshine! You know what? I Here's what I got to share with you. I don't know what happened, but it's gone.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. You just leveled up my whole, now I'm doing terrific. I appreciate you.
Right. But see, you're doing terrific anyway, right? We don't want outside circumstances to decide if we're feeling good or bad. That's good
Uh-huh.
that we do, right? We love when something cool happens, express it, that feel gratitude. But we're so used to acting that way about good things that happen to us that when crappy things happen, we do the opposite, right? What we want to
Yeah.
do is choose our reaction to everything. Our response, I
Which
should say our
was reviewed
response.
today
Right, which is
in
our
the
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. We choose our response to things instead of react to things.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome,
Thank
sunshine.
you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I have one more bit of news. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be
Um,
sorry.
I also received information that I became a member of a local poetry group. So
Cool.
I'm really excited about um, the things that will come out. And I decided earlier today that I was going to review the information from the subconscious mind, and
Uh-huh.
also start visualizing um, me doing poetry, because I have a bit of, or I'm working through, I guess I'll say
Uh-huh.
I'm working through
Okay.
some stage fright and some fear. I'm introverted. So when I see a lot of people in the
Okay.
crowd, I just kind of, I mean, I still perform, but
Yeah.
I'm usually performing from my phone and staring into my phone because I don't
Okay.
want to look at
Okay. Well, good. Well, then obviously those different chapters in Power of Your Subconscious Mind, especially about the different performers, those will be really helpful.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Who's next? Questions or comments? You guys gonna let me off the hook early today or something? I like being on the hook with you guys. I don't mind. You guys like chatting with each other anyhow.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, how are you doing this morning or afternoon,
Good.
wherever
It's
you are?
raining.
It's
It's
raining.
raining in the desert. Feels great.
Oh, that's awesome. It's bringing life, cleaning the air
Yeah,
and bringing new life and sustaining a
yeah.
previous life. Awesome. So what's up?
Not much. I just wanted to say hi.
Oh, okay.
Is it tomorrow that we're not meeting?
Yeah, tomorrow I haven't figured out how to have internet where I need to be and make it work. So we will just the one day. But hey, I was here for holidays and stuff, so
Yeah.
I'll be right back with everybody on Friday.
What on earth am I gonna do tomorrow?
I'll review something. We've got all kinds of
Oh,
videos.
yeah.
Got
Oh,
a bazillion
by the
meetings in the Facebook group and on YouTube. So
by the way, I have done what you told me to do, and you said check back with you halfway through the month.
yeah,
I guess I'm getting a little better about it.
okay.
Not thinking so much about how to get from point A to Z
Uh-huh.
in one giant step.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, I'm not even thinking about it too much anymore because I can't figure it out anyway. So I'm just focusing on point Z. How I get there will work itself out.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Anybody else have anything they would like to share today? Did I smack you too hard with the decision lesson?
You apparently smacked Lillian. Hi, Lillian.
Hi, you guys. Hi,
Hi.
Kevin.
Hi.
I just wanted to say that thank you for the dry bar suggestion because it was funny. And I normally don't go into funny things. Usually I get on Netflix and then I need an hour or so. So this was really cool because during the day I was like, oh, let me just do this. And then I just found myself laughing, and it was just a couple of minutes, but I think it was good to laugh more through the day, especially when you're working and stuff, than doing it on a Friday night or a Saturday night and like waiting. So that it changed my demeanor. So I noticed that that was healthier.
Awesome. Thank
And
you.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Oh, and
Go ahead.
oh no, I was just going to say, based on like what we just read, or what you just read to us, that it sounds like we should all just be saying yes because we all want this, which is why we all sign in every day for an hour, Monday through Friday. And basically, you're saying you don't worry about how it's going to get paid because somehow the universe will just give you what you need, and we don't operate from that thinking, that we just do what it is we want instead of asking ourselves that question about, can I afford it, or how much money is it going to cost, and that we really need more reprogramming, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah. Bob Proctor, when I'm around him, he basically has created his life this way. He doesn't do anything he doesn't want to do.
Mhm.
Even within his business makes millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. And he only does what he wants to do. Everything else, he's attracted the right people to make it work. And they're all doing the type of things they want to do. So the people that are videoing him or whatever, that's what they want to do. Somebody set up his studio for him at his, well, when I say his house, he's got a separate building that he built on the property and put his library and his studio in there. But when you watch Bob Proctor videos, the more newer ones where he's at his desk and the books are behind him, that was set up a few years ago by, I'll say, a kid, a 20-something-year-old that Bob Proctor gave the money to create a studio. And the guy runs his studio from another country. So the guy actually, he can do that. You know, he could set up, so he pretty much has a broadcasting studio that was created, I think, about 3 years ago, interestingly enough, which the universe prepared him for COVID. One of those people that already had everything he needed to not slow down when COVID showed up. He still did a lot of live things, physically going places, but once COVID showed up, he was ready to go. He didn't have to, scramble to make it work. And he's not the one that videos any of that stuff. He's not the one clicking on his computer or whatever. He literally gets in front, all the stuff's behind him, and somebody else has remote controls from another place and is doing all the work behind it. So all he does is speak. And the other
Is that
person runs the cameras.
that thing that he was showing? It was done on his property, right?
Yeah,
some,
it's in his back, well, you call it backyard
Yeah,
or whatever. It's a
yeah.
separate, it's like what would normally for other people be a guest house or something, right?
Yeah.
You put a structure back there, and he put in a good amount of money into it. He's probably got $1
Mhm.
million into the thing, but it doesn't really matter because he earns
Yeah.
millions and millions and millions.
I remember that. I remember him going in there and showing it, what he was planning. I thought that was really neat. And it did sound very space agey because I don't think anybody had done that yet. It was just a fantasy he was fulfilling from the
Yeah.
sound of it.
Well, I mean, companies that broadcast and things like that do it, right? But as far as something in your backyard, right? That's not something that most people would put the money into creating.
Yeah.
But he did it early, so there were no hiccups when COVID
Yeah.
came around. And see, that's kind of how things, when we're in alignment with what it is that we want, downturns in the economy or epidemics or things like that, they tend not to really affect the
Mhm.
people that only live that way. And Bob's been living that way for 60 years. So he doesn't get, knocked, he might get bumped, right? But he doesn't get knocked to the ground so much where he gets bumped here and there occasionally because his own subconscious, even to this day, when he sets a goal, makes a decision, like he said in the article, essentially, if you can already make the plan, that's not really what it is that you should be shooting for. You already know how to do it. It's that thing you don't have a clue how to do that you couldn't write a plan out for today. That for him is what he considers a goal. It's if he can come up with a plan today and know that he could achieve it in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and kind of he may not know everything, but he can pretty much map that out. To him, that's not a goal. That's just something you need to go do and get it over with, because if you really want it, because you already know how to do it. But if it's something, he's stretching for, then he goes through the same process that I'm at talking to you guys about and that I go through. His subconscious at first says, eh, but at that moment, he knows how to deal with it. It's like, okay, I'm going to stay there, and then I'm going to get, I'll be inspired to do something, or somebody will come my way, to help me do whatever it is I don't know how to do yet. And if I don't know how to do it, or I don't have the resources, I'm not going to think about that now. The only thing that we should decide is, do I or do I not want to be, do, or have something? That should be the only consideration. Do I want to be, do, or have it? And then once we really feel and decide, yes, that's it, then we decided. Once you decide at that point, there's no going back. And then that's when the miracle side of this whole thing starts to happen. That's when the miraculous starts coming about. But the miraculous doesn't need to come about till you make up your mind.
Yeah.
Until we make up our mind to do it, it's really not going to matter that much what we do. And as long as we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with it, like you said, ambivalence, right? And it's going to create turmoil, and we're not going to feel good because we haven't made up our mind one way or the other. If you don't want something, that's fine. Just drop it, right? But don't drop it, keep picking it back up and kidding yourself saying, well, I don't want it. But the only reason you said you don't want it is because you don't know how to get it. If you really want it, then you better put it, should be on your list, and you should make the decision to be, do, or have it, period. End of story. It's happening. And God will provide the way, and I'm going to visualize and trust and feel good about it. And I'm going to follow intuition, revelation, and inspiration. And I'm going to let it go through its incubation process and whatnot, but it's going to come out the other end, and I will be, do, or have that thing that I want. Yeah. All right. So just again, quick reminder, I'll put it one more time here at the bottom of chat. If you haven't watched the 14-minute video announcement, go ahead and click on it now. That way you'll know where to find it, and give you all a moment to go ahead and click on that. Some of you guys have already watched it because I shared it with you the last couple of days, but there's a couple people on here today that haven't been with us. So you guys have an amazing day. I will miss you tomorrow. because I really, really enjoy this. Of course, I'm going to do my own personal studies at some point in the day. However, I will see everybody again on Friday. Thank you. Thank you so much for spending this time together.
Thank you, Kevin.
Enjoy your day.
Everybody else, enjoy, yes, what's left of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Lily.
Kevin.
You're
Enjoy
all
your
very
day
welcome.
off tomorrow.